Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Have you ever imagined what it would be like to survive in a world where everything you knew is gone? A world where trust, loyalty, and betrayal all collide? Today's story will take you on an emotional roller coaster. From the fight for survival to the growing tension between the characters. This story will keep you on the edge of your seat. Stick around till the end. The shocking twist will leave you questioning everything. The story begins in a world consumed by radiation. A catastrophic event has wiped out humanity, and all sources of electricity are gone. In the midst of this desolation, we follow a lone survivor, a girl trying to outlast the end of the world. She lives in a secluded village, surrounded by mountains and forests, a place where radiation hasn't reached yet. To survive, she wears a special protective suit while gathering supplies from a nearby store. Once she reaches the safe zone near her home, she removes the suit. Then, as a precaution, she washes herself thoroughly, ensuring that no traces of radiation remain. After cleaning up, she falls asleep. The next morning, Kate wakes up and starts working on her farm. She lives here with her dog, her only companion in this lonely world. Despite the isolation, she tries to hold on to her existence. She doesn't believe that anyone else is still alive. But every now and then, when supplies run low, she ventures into the abandoned city in search of food. One day, while Kate is walking with her dog, the animal suddenly starts barking near the forest. She hides and watches carefully. That's when she sees another survivor, a man dressed in a protective suit, wandering in search of a safe place, a place where radiation hasn't reached yet. His name is John. Believing that the air and water here are uncontaminated, he removes his suit. For the first time in a long while, he breathes in the open air, and it feels refreshing. Kate follows him in secret and watches as he steps into a lake to bathe. But realizing the danger, she immediately warns him to get out. The water is contaminated with radiation. At first, John is startled to see her, but Kate assures him that she means no harm and urges him to leave the water immediately. Hearing this, John quickly steps out, but it's already too late. He's been exposed. Moments later, he starts feeling sick. His body weakens, and he begins vomiting. Struggling to stay on his feet, he somehow makes it back to his van. Inside, he searches for an injection, something to counteract the radiation. But his condition worsens, and his hands tremble too much to use it. Desperate, he asks Kate for help. She takes the injection and administers it to him, but John is still too weak. Seeing his critical state, Kate decides to take him home. She cleans him up and washes herself as well. For the next few days, Kate takes care of John. She gives him medicine and watches over him, hoping he will recover soon. At night, she prays, asking God to help him heal. She has been alone for so long, she doesn't want to be alone anymore. After a few days, John finally starts getting better. He thanks Kate for saving his life. John then tells her that he was an engineer working in a government bunker. That's how he survived the disaster. But after some time, he was forced to leave because he ran out of food. With no other choice, he started walking, and eventually he reached this place. John explains that this area is surrounded by mountains and forests, which is why the radiation hasn't reached here yet. Kate, who is deeply religious, believes that God has created this place for them. She then shows John a photograph of her family. She used to live here with her parents and younger brother. They all survived the disaster. Her parents left to search for other survivors, but they never returned. After waiting for days, her younger brother also went out to find them, but he too never came back. The next day, Kate is working in her field, tending to the vegetables she grows. Seeing her struggle, John decides to help. He assists her with refueling from local petroleum pumps and manages to start an old tractor that had been sitting in use for a long time. That night, as they sit down for dinner, John admits that he feels happy here. He always believed there had to be a place in the world where radiation hadn't reached. Kate feels the same way. She is relieved to have someone by her side, someone to share the work and the loneliness. Deep down, she has started to like John. The next day, Kate goes to a nearby pond to catch fish. She brings them back, and John cooks them over a fire. Kate reminds him that winter is approaching. They need to start stocking food because once the cold sets in, the fields will dry up and survival will become difficult. Now that they are two, they will need even more supplies. She also wishes they could restore electricity in the house. With power, they could use the freezer to store fish from the local pond before winter arrives. And most importantly, they wouldn't have to live in darkness anymore. John learns that Kate has an old generator, but it hasn't worked in years. He spends hours trying to fix it, but nothing seems to work. Then an idea strikes him. He suggests that they can generate electricity using a hydroelectric wheel powered by the waterfall. But to make it work, they will need a large wooden wheel. John notices an old church nearby, made entirely of wood. It seems like the perfect source for building a wooden wheel. But when he suggests dismantling it, Kate refuses. She is deeply religious, and this church holds sentimental value. Her father used to work here. John, on the other hand, doesn't believe in God. For him, science explains everything, but he doesn't want to disappoint Kate, so he decides to abandon the project. Still, deep down, he isn't ready to give up. Frustrated, he goes to the store and starts drinking. Kate finds him there and brings him back home. But under the influence of alcohol, John behaves inappropriately, making Kate uncomfortable. She feels hurt. The next morning, John realizes his mistake. He apologizes to her for his behavior. Despite everything, they have been happy together all this time, growing closer with each passing day. That night, as Kate tries to get closer to John, he gently stops her. He believes they should take their time to understand each other instead of rushing into things. Kate respects his decision. One day, while Kate is walking a little away from home, she spots a man named Caleb. He looks weak and exhausted. Desperate for water, he begs Kate for help. Seeing another survivor after so long, Kate feels overjoyed and brings him home. But John isn't as welcoming. He is immediately suspicious. What if Caleb is contaminated? To be sure, he checks Caleb's radiation levels. The results show that Caleb has been exposed to a small amount of radiation. John insists that Caleb should stay outside in a tent for now, as he needs rest. But Kate disagrees. She argues that they can't leave him out there in such a weak condition. Reluctantly, John agrees and lets Caleb stay inside, and they all sit together for lunch. During their conversation, Caleb asks John how he survived the radiation and ended up here. John explains that when the disaster struck, he was working inside a government bunker. That's what saved him. But eventually, the food supply ran out, and he had no choice but to leave. As he was traveling in his van, he came across a sick young boy suffering terribly from radiation exposure. The boy begged John to end his misery, to put him out his pain. But John couldn't do it. He left the boy behind and continued his journey. And then, somewhere along the way, he met Kate. Caleb then shares his own story. When the radiation first started spreading, he was working in a mine with his fellow workers. They were trapped there for days. But as time passed, some of them became desperate to leave. A fight broke out among them. In their struggle for survival, they turned against each other, killing one another. Caleb was the only one who made it out alive. John takes Kate aside. There is something he has been wanting to tell her for a long time, but he was afraid. Now, he finally gathers the courage to speak. He tells her about the sick boy he met on the road, the one who begged him to end his suffering. John now suspects that the boy might have been Kate's younger brother, the one who had left home searching for their parents. Kate is devastated. The thought of her brother suffering alone breaks her heart. She sits in silence, lost in her memories. The next day, John discusses the water wheel project with Caleb. He explains how they can generate electricity, but also mentions that Kate is unwilling to destroy the church for it. Caleb likes the idea and convinces John to talk to Kate again. This time, Kate agrees. With her approval, the three of them begin dismantling the church. Day and night, they work together, determined to complete the project. During this time, something changes. Caleb is young and good-looking, and Kate finds herself drawn to him. Caleb also starts feeling a connection with her. They laugh together, share small moments, and spend more time with each other, something that doesn't go unnoticed by John. One night, John pulls Kate aside. He tells her that if she wants to be with Caleb, she can. It wouldn't bother him. Kate doesn't respond. Instead, she silently walks away, confused about her own feelings. She likes both John and Caleb, but she doesn't know who she truly wants. From that moment on, John and Caleb barely speak to each other. John starts feeling jealous. He doesn't like seeing Kate with Caleb. Meanwhile, the water wheel is finally completed. To celebrate, the three of them throw a small party at home. Later that night, they go to a nearby stream to bathe, enjoying the moment. Afterward, John confesses his feelings to Kate. He likes her, but Kate says nothing, because deep down, she has started to develop feelings for Caleb. After returning home, John drowns himself in alcohol. Heartbroken, he drinks too much and eventually passes out. Meanwhile, Kate goes to Caleb, and the two grow even closer. The next morning, when John wakes up, he notices something different. Kate and Caleb are acting like a couple. It doesn't take him long to realize what must have happened last night. A deep sense of betrayal fills him. Later, John and Caleb head out to install the water wheel. They work in silence, fitting everything into place. When the setup is complete, they feel a sense of accomplishment. Then, Caleb puts on his protective suit and grabs onto a rope to climb up the waterfall. But suddenly his foot slips. John, already positioned above, grabs the rope and pulls Caleb up. For a moment, it seems like he will be safe. But then, Caleb slips again. This time, their eyes meet. John holds onto the rope, his grip steady. But something shifts inside him. He lets go. Caleb falls. His body crashes down below. And just like that, he is gone. John doesn't move, because deep inside, he wanted this to happen. Caleb was the one thing standing between him and Kate. And now, he is no longer in the way. John returns home alone. Kate, feeling guilty about what happened last night with Caleb, apologizes to him. She doesn't want to see John hurt, but John simply tells her there's nothing to apologize for. Then, Kate asks about Caleb. John responds calmly. Caleb left to search for other survivors. Hearing this, Kate feels uneasy. Something doesn't feel right. She sets out to find Caleb, but no matter where she looks, he is nowhere to be found. Deep inside, she begins to suspect the truth. John didn't just let Caleb go. He got rid of him. Kate returns home, only to see something unexpected. The generator is running. For the first time in years, there is electricity in the house. A faint smile crosses her face, but inside, she is broken. She sits at the piano and begins to play. The melody is heavy with sadness, filled with the weight of her emotions. As she plays, she looks at John, and at that moment, John, the man who never believed in God, bows his head in prayer. For the first time, he seeks forgiveness for his sins. And that's the end of the story. But before we go, we want to hear from you. What do you think? Did John deserve forgiveness for his actions? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories like this. Your support means a lot to us, and we can't wait to bring you more exciting content soon. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy,